Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your January 2025 tarot reading for your North Node by sign and house. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason I use the North Node in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant is that it's recognized in astrology your North Node is your North Star. It's what you're here to learn, accomplish, and master in this lifetime. So it's much more relevant to your everyday life and much more accurate in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign. Now remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now the big story this month is obviously we have the North Nodes that are changing signs. So we're going from Aries North Node, Libra South Node to a Pisces North Node and Virgo South Node. So anybody that has strong placements either in Pisces or Virgo are going to feel this. Now, this is going to happen on January 11th, but we're all going to be affected to a certain degree. And this will be a time to look at Pisces themes, like, for example, having a greater perspective, embracing compassion, not only for other people, but especially for ourselves. So things of that nature. With that, I'm going to connect to the energies and we will begin. I call upon my spirit guides, guardians, and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see and hear this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aries and or the first house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is your card, okay? North Node in Aries of the first house. This is the King of Wands. Now, obviously, for the past 18 months, we've had our North Node in Aries, okay? So this has been a graduation time for you. Whenever the North Node goes into our personal natal North Node, when the collective North Node does, it's a time of learning and it's a time of reaping the benefits if we've done well, or maybe corrections that happen. So think back the last 18 months. How has it been for you? What has occurred? Has it been a good time, a time of growth? Has it been a struggle? If it's been a struggle, that's okay, because that's how we learn. Maybe there's been some corrections. But what this card is saying is the big lesson for you to take away, and I feel like this is going to be an ongoing reflection as we get into 2025, because once the North Node leaves our personal natal North Node, we don't just stop, okay? Now you're going to be in a time, probably for the whole rest of the year, but at least for the next 6 months, a time of reflection of what's happened during these times. Because whenever, as I said, it goes into our natal North Node, the collective North Node, things happen in our life. It's as I said, a time for learning and graduation. Now, what I'm getting with this and a few other cards that I'm seeing here is that one of the big lessons for you, North Nodes in Aries and or the first house, is what I call the enlightened leader. And what I mean by that is we're going to look at a leader. It could be a boss, a supervisor. It could be someone who leads in their industry, an inventor. It could be a teacher, professor, but someone that is a leader, that is leading people, okay? Could even be like, head of a household, like a parent, okay? Either mother or father, okay? Even, big brother, big sister, but you get my point. But the archetype of the enlightened leader would be, we think of leaders, the best ones being the ones that are strong and that have that Aries energy, but also have a heart, that also have emotional intelligence, that don't just lead by sheer force, okay, but they lead by example. They lead It's the archetype of the enlightened king or queen, you know? And we've seen this archetype play out in lots of stories and movies and whatnot, and even in our own lives. Think about the different bosses you've had that were leaders, and you know, some of them might have been really good. Think of teachers you've had, some of them might have been really horrible. But what I'm getting for you is that that's the big lesson, that what you're here to do in this lifetime, one of your main things is to become this enlightened leader where you are keeping your strength, but you're realizing there's also strength in working with people. There's also strength in understanding people. Okay. And so I think that this is going to be a big reflection moving forward, especially this month. Okay. So let's look at your timeline cards here. You've got the Knight of Cups. You've got the World card. Beautiful. And you've got the Eight of Swords reversed. What you're realizing is, in order to get to be an enlightened leader, let's take a leader who is not enlightened. Okay, someone who can just bark orders, who can exhibit strength, but all they're doing it is the force of, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, I'm going to bark orders, and don't talk back, just listen to me type of a thing. That's like a one-dimensional leader, and it is a leader. Okay, we've all seen and probably, you know, worked under or with people like that, right? But what you're learning is, in order to be an enlightened leader, there's other things in the recipe that have to come in. And that's what this Knight of Cups is saying. It's that there has to be, in order to you take the raw materials of the Aries and Mars energy and you add emotional intelligence, okay? When you do that, what ends up happening is you become whole. That's what the world is saying. You have the ability right now, having gone through the past 18 months, roughly, with the North Node in Aries, to become more whole. Now, the heads up for you in this Eight of Swords is, what's going to happen is, with it reversed here, the Eight of Swords is, this is coming out of previously held ideas. Swords are the intellect, the mind. They're also communication. So previous held ideas that you may have had about yourself and your life, you're reflecting on them. And I feel like many of you are starting to realize, you're saying, okay, I'm coming out of this viewpoint that I had, this way of thinking. And what you're doing is becoming more whole. Now, to complete this process, let's look at your advice cards here. So you've got the Knight of Pentacles, another knight here, and you've got the Emperor card upright. This is another card, along with this King of Wands upright, that can signify the enlightened leader. Now, there's more work to be done. That's what this is saying. The two knights that you have in this reading, all knights are cards of movement. And that means that it's energy that is moving. So one of the things in the recipe that wants to happen for most of you, that I feel like is part of this recipe for you to become the whole person that you need to be, to become this enlightened leader, is this Knight of Pentacles is saying there needs to be some sort of grounding. And what I mean by that is that this is the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights. Okay, it's an earth-based sign card. So this is the slowest moving. So what this is saying is, it's really important moving forward that a lot of you look at, am I acting too quickly? Am I reacting too quickly about something? Am I making decisions too quickly? Because that's one of the gifts and also the curses of Aries and Mars. The ability to take action right away, but also the ability to take action too quickly. Okay, so what this is saying is, you want to make sure that you're pacing yourself, okay? Because the Aries, the unenlightened Aries or Mars energy can be like a wild horse that's being held behind a gate, okay? And it's, you know, as they say, like raring to go, right? So that's the energy. And that, and people that have the Aries North Node energy can do that, right? So what's interesting is that I don't see anything in this reading that's really reflecting your South Node in Libra. I feel like this is really reflecting a lot of what you're becoming. But remember, as you're doing this, it's important not to go too far into the Aries and kind of Mars energy. And so that's what this card is saying. Now, the Emperor card, again, this is what you're evolving to. I would say that this is like a higher octave. The Emperor is like a higher octave of the Knight of Wands. And or excuse me, the King of Wands. This is about, you evolving. And this is like going from like the enlightened leader at a younger stage into the older stage. And what ends up happening is that this is essentially what is happening is you are stepping into your personal power. Because remember, this is a lifetime. If you have this North Node in Aries and or the first house, this is the lifetime for you to evolve and develop yourself, yourself, okay? And so I feel like a lot of you are really doing that. You're on the road to doing that. And now it's a matter of reflecting what it is you need to do in order to kind of finish the process. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and I thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Taurus and or the second house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Three of Wands. And yes, this is a card of perspective. It's also a card of, looking into the future and where you want to go. But in particular for you, remember wands, one of the things they signify is energy. They signify all of the fire signs in astrology. And so I'm picking up energy for you. And what I feel like for you, North Nodes in Taurus, is, as I've seen in other readings the past several months, a lot of you are walking away from things that don't energize you. That could be relationships, friendships, work situations, whatever it is, even like habits and things. A lot of you are walking away from things that drain you. And that's been coming up in readings. And what you're doing right now for January, especially the first half of January, is you're looking, because a lot of you have this extra energy. You've walked away from things and situations that are draining you. So you have this extra energy. And I feel like a lot of you are thinking, okay, what am I going to do with this energy? That's what this is saying. This is saying, like, you're looking at, how do I want to use this extra energy? And I feel like a lot of you are going to put it to really good use. I don't feel like it's going to be sitting there idle. But remember, that's what it's about. Using your energy that you have in proper directions, in ways that are going to enhance your life. So let's look at your timeline cards. We'll get a clearer vision here. So you've got the Death card. You've got the Four of Swords reversed. And you've got the Nine of Pentacles. Now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know when I talk about the so-called scary cards, Death, the Devil, the Tower, they're not anything to fear. They're just energies. They're not anything to be overly concerned about. What Death is, it's about transformation. In order for us to change, as I always say, parts of ourself have to die in order for us to evolve, okay? When we want to do something and make changes, the old self has to die and the new self comes and is born, right? So what this is saying is that what you've done with this energy is, first of all, you've used it to help transform your life. You're in the process of transforming. And this Four of Swords is you're coming out of a time, a lot of you are coming out of a time of kind of idleness or feeling stuck in some way. Okay, you're feeling like a lot of you were feeling stuck, or like you couldn't move freely. So you're using that energy to get yourself unstuck as you evolve. Now, where it's headed is with this Nine of Pentacles is you're learning to focus your life on things that are going to make you happy, things that enrich your life. That's what this Nine of Pentacles is. Whatever it is, it could be like taking on a new hobby, taking care of yourself. It could be, you know, starting a business, or getting a new career, or enhancing the career you have. But what I'm getting for you is that you're taking this energy, and where it's ending up is it's showing you areas that you want to invest this in, which is things of value to you. So you're coming out of this. A lot of you are going to feel, even, you know, through the whole month of January, more and more unstuck. Okay, and a lot of you probably are already feeling that. Now, your two advice cards are interesting. You've got the Ace of Swords reversed, and you've got the Temperance card. Okay. The Ace of Swords reversed is a cautionary card to you, and this has to do with the theme of energy that I was talking about. So what can happen a lot of times is when we as humans get an influx of energy, it could be emotional energy, psychic energy, physical energy, whatever the case may be, psychological energy. What ends up happening is it has to be, as I always say, it has to be properly put to use. You know, it's kind of like the old like saying, they say, like, you know, idle hands are the devil's workshop, or whatever. So it's kind of like that. The energy has to be properly used because it's there, right? And it wants to be used. What this is saying is it's really important to make sure that you are taking that extra energy and you are putting it in areas of your life that are going to enhance your life, so it's properly used. Okay, particularly when it comes to um, like dealing with other people, okay, in your life. Okay, so make sure that that energy doesn't overflow. It's like when someone gets super energized and excited, they can say or do things that you know, aren't maybe in their best interest. So it's just saying, like, make sure you're using that energy properly and you're regulating it. And then with this Temperance card, this is kind of going along with this. This is a card of inner alchemy and balance. And really what you're seeing here with the inner alchemy, and you have the Temperance card where the two goblets are being, you know, intertwined with the liquid. So this is a process of mixing together, right? Which takes energy. Okay, so mixing things together, working on our lives takes energy. And I feel like what you want to do is make sure that you're not only, you know, you're not misusing the energy that you have, but that you're putting it into the proper channels. And this is going to be like a work in progress. So I feel the first half of January and through the whole month, you're going to be thinking of ways like there's new directions that are coming in. All you really have to do is make sure that you're using the energy and focusing and going in a direction that is going to be kind of for your highest good and highest happiness. And you'll know it because you're going to feel it, right? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Gemini and or the third house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Five of Pentacles reversed. Now, all of the five cards are challenges, and when they're reversed, they're in their better state. And what this is telling me is, this is saying that what a lot of you North nodes in Gemini or the third house are learning right now, and that you're going to learn this throughout the whole month of January, is the fact that you need people. Like, you need other people in your life, okay? But you need them for a lot of reasons. You need them to bounce ideas off of. You need their creativity and their ideas. This is a lifetime for you to gather different information from different sources, okay? And I think the big thing that you're learning is that even though it's difficult, and I see in the reading here, we're going to get in the relationships with people can be difficult. The fact of the matter is that you need people. We all need people, okay? We need people, in our life, but particularly you, because you need the different viewpoints that people have. You need to look at different ways. That's how you're supposed to navigate this lifetime. Okay. So I think that there's going to be a lot of you have already kind of learned this, but there is a challenge here. Okay. And we're going to look at your timeline right now. You've got the 9 of Wands reversed, and you've got the 5 of Wands upright, and you've got the 9 of Pentacles reversed. So we'll take these first two cards, okay? You got the 9 of Wands reversed, and you got the 5 of Wands upright. So, this is saying, like, when you reflect back, okay, you were thinking back about all of the things that you've gone through with different people in relationships, and that could be friends, family, romantic relationships, work relationships, whatever the case may be. And it can be frustrating because dealing with people from different backgrounds and different thought processes, I mean, it's easy to get along with people when we totally agree on everything, with them, okay? That's easy to get along with people. It's a little bit more tricky when you're dealing with diversity of people with different thoughts and feelings and so what you're looking back at there's like a frustration, is like, do I really have to keep dealing with people? Because part of you is just like, I know the way I want to go, and I want to go in a certain way, and that's your Sagittarius, or ninth house South Node talking. And, part of this frustration is something where I want you to think back, and I think there's going to be reflections of old things that have happened energetically with people in relationships. And be completely honest, think back and think, okay, were they right about anything? Like, was I wrong but when I made a decision? That's what this 9 of Wands is saying. When you're reflecting back on certain things, can you find any old relationships with people where you have to be honest and say, okay, even though I thought that back then and I stood my ground, was I wrong and they were right, type of a thing? And what that will do is, even though it's difficult to do that, it'll show you that, well, maybe there are people with different thoughts and ideas right now in my life that may have things to offer me, type of a thing. So that's what the process is going on right now. And I know it's difficult, and it's not easy to deal in the world of people. It can be very challenging. I get that. Now, the payoff is this. You've got this reverse 9 of Pentacles. What's going to happen is you're not doing this difficult work for no reason. What you're going to end up doing is, if you're able to do this, if you're able to tap into the ideas, to the outlooks, to the energy and of others, okay, and you're able to use that as a resource, it's going to make your life richer in all ways. It's going to make it, things of value more are going to come in, health, money, all of that, work, everything is going to get better. And the more you don't do that, the more you kind of stay in that lone wolf type status, the less rich your life will be, okay? And so that's something that you're in the process of learning. So just remember, even though it's difficult, stay in there. It doesn't mean you have to like listen to every single other person, but to try to like see if you can see things in different ways. And that's where the gold is for you in this lifetime. It's in diversity, seeing the diverse ideas of other people and then applying those in your life. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Page of Pentacles upright and you've got the Tower reversed. What you're doing here, and this Page of Pentacles is going along with this Nine of Pentacles, is the payoff for you, as I said, is I really feel it can enrich your life immediately. Like when you start to do this and you can start to say, like, someone has an idea and then you say, I don't know about that idea, but you don't shoot it down right away. You kind of think about it and you're like, they may be right. And you've now accepted someone else's, idea, genuinely accepted it, even though you initially didn't do that. I feel like there's going to be rewards for you doing this, okay? Yeah, monetary rewards, or just, as I said, I just feel like an overall enrichment to your life. Now, the other part of this is with the Tower reversed. Tower is nothing to be afraid of. This is like change. I feel like with the first 2 weeks of, I want you to pay attention the first 2 weeks of January, but through the whole month, of something that is going to come, that's going to come as like a shock to you. And I feel like it's going to come internally, where you're going to have a realization. It could come in a dream or something that you overhear, or you're reflecting on something in the past, but something is going to occur to you that's going to be like this aha moment. And that's what this is saying. And it's really important to pay attention to that, because I feel like when you have this aha moment, all of this is going to start to click more. And you're going to say, okay, even though it's difficult dealing with a wide variety of people in life, I can see the value in it. And I just have to get good at picking and choosing and not just blocking, all of this other input from people out, but like picking and choosing and taking the time to do that. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you, Happy New Year, and we will see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed 8 of Pentacles. And I feel like the first 2 weeks of January, for all of you, it's all about your work, what you do, not only for a living, but even if you are a stay-at-home parent, whatever it is you do on a daily basis. So for many of you, or most of you, it's going to be like your work and career, right? For some of you, you could be your work and career as a full-time student. For others, as I said, it could be like a stay-at-home parent. That's all work. So it's what you do on a daily basis. And I feel like there's some challenges that are happening there. And what it's doing is, this is the challenges are coming up because it's the universe is trying to get you, many of you, to refocus. And some of you are doing it better than others, to refocus your life into more of that North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house, okay? Meaning concentrate more on, emotional relationships in your life, family, friends, things of, about home and hearth, that type of a thing. So it's getting you. So there's some challenges that are going to come up in whatever it is you're doing. A lot of you are very busy and you are, putting your nose to the grindstone like a good, Capricorn or 10th house South Node, okay? But there's going to be some challenges that are going to come up, but there is a way out of it. With your North Node, it doesn't mean you can't have a great career. What it's saying, though, is it's saying that you can't have a career and sacrifice all the other things that signify the sign of Cancer and or, the fourth house. You can't sacrifice one for the other. So you can have it, but it's a little tricky. Now, on your timeline cards, it's interesting. You've got the Three of Wands reversed. You've got the Empress card upright. And you've got the Ten of Swords upright. So the Three of Wands reversed is going along with this kind of challenges at work. A lot of you might be feeling like it's like what I'm doing is like a dead end type of an energy. Like you don't see a future in it, or you feel like you don't feel motivated. Like for some reason you can't, the future for some reason doesn't look bright to you in what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing on a daily basis. And so it's kind of like, it's like the luster might have like, you've lost some luster when you're looking at like work and career. But there is a cure for that, okay? As I said, you can have both. The Empress here is saying, this is, I feel like an actual person that this is reflecting. And I feel like this is, there's a person in your life who I feel is an example for you to show you a good balance of work and career and like home, family, even if you don't have a family, okay, home could mean just like taking time for yourself, to not work so much and, cook a meal and enjoy life, anything that's all tied up in the sign of Cancer and the fourth house. Okay. But there's a person that's an example. And I feel like the first 2 weeks, you may know them, you may be related to them, you may know them really well or not so well, but I feel like they're going to show themselves, because a lot of times our teachers in life are people that appear in our life. They may be there for years, but then we recognize them. So I feel like there's going to be this kind of like, as you reflect back on this last year and then looking toward the future, even though you might feel like it's not very bright, I feel like there's going to be this kind of aha moment, and this person is going to help you see that. And with this Ten of Swords is, you've kind of, a lot of you have like played out the energy to its fullest extent. Like change has to happen. It's like you're going to realize, okay, I got to make some changes in my life. I got to balance something here. And all that simply is happening is, it's getting you to refocus your energy, some of your energy, into other areas of life that don't have to do with Capricorn and or the 10th house, right? And so you're at the end of going this route. So this person's going to appear and you're going to know them. It's like you're going to recognize like, oh, well, they seem to have it together. They seem to be enjoying life. They have a good, balance in their life with work and with, home. I can see that. And they're going to appear. You're going to recognize them the first 2 weeks. Now your two advice cards are, you've got the King of Swords upright, and you've got the Seven of Pentacles. So starting off with the King of Swords, I feel like this is also representing an actual person, because many of the tarot cards, like the court cards, for example, the King, Queen, Page, Knights, they could be energies or they could be actual people. And I feel like this is referring to an actual person. And I feel like this is reflecting two people, someone that you know or outside of yourself, and also you. So starting with you is, I feel like you're realizing that there are things in your life that you've maybe shut off your emotions to, and you've kind of like, like toughened up like a good Capricorn South Node or 10th house. And there's areas that you've shut yourself off. But regarding another person, I feel like, just like this Empress card was an example of what to do, I feel like you're going to be realizing this other person is going to be an example of like what not to do. So I feel like that's going to be part of this, where you're going to see like, Oh, okay. That I see myself kind of in that, and you're going to see how, how it's paid off for them type of a thing. So you're going to realize what not to do. And then with this Seven of Pentacles, what you're going to end up with at the end of this, when you realize that, okay, yeah, I got to make these changes. I can't keep going on this way. What you're going to realize is, okay, this is going to take patience on my part. And this is like waiting for things to grow. Because I feel like when you begin to refocus your life and switch some things around, you're going to start seeing results, but it's going to require patience. It's going to require the patience to allow it to grow as you make the changes. And a lot of you are going to learn that. But just remember that the good news is when you see this Seven of Pentacles, not only is this patience, but things are growing, okay? Everything to do with Pentacles. So this is saying that, like, yes, you can make money, have a career and all that, as long as you are giving the proper attention to, being emotionally vulnerable, being emotionally intelligent, making those things of Cancer and the fourth house important in your life. And you're realizing that you can do both, okay, type of a thing. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Happy New Year. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Leo and or the fifth house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Seven of Swords reversed. Now this is known as, the sneaky card, okay? But it has many, many layers of meanings. But when it's reversed here, what I feel like when I saw this card was, I feel like a lot of you there are parts of yourself that you lost that were taken away from you when you were younger, parts of who you were. It could have been something, that, someone said to you growing up, whether you were related to them or not, or it could have been a teacher, something like that, or a combination of them. But I feel like there are things that were taken from you, emotionally and mentally, that are now going to start to be realized back to you. And the big message for you in this is I got a very clear message that whoever was doing, taking part in, maybe chipping away at parts of yourself, to where you didn't, weren't as confident as you could be, or might have, like, marred your self-esteem. Whoever was doing that, they didn't do it consciously. I'm getting a clear message that it was unconscious. It could have been because of the way they were raised, or things that they went through, but it wasn't done out and out maliciously. It was done unconsciously. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that it was any less, damaging. The good news here is that you are getting stronger. There's parts of yourself, missing parts, that are coming back to you. Confidence, things that, talents you're becoming aware of. Now, your timeline cards are interesting. They'll clear up the story a little bit here. You've got the Nine of Pentacles upright. You've got the Six of Pentacles reversed, and then you've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. So starting with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like a lot of you are starting to delve in, at least either actual physically or at least mentally, delving into interests that you have. That could be interests as far as things that you want to do in life, like starting a business. It could be starting things of interest that are like a hobby to you, or those type of interests, or getting further education. Maybe you're like, but I feel like a lot of you are starting to learn more about what interests you in life. And that's like a beginning stage for you North Nodes in Leo or the fifth house, is like, what is it that excites you? You know what I mean? What is it that really kind of like gets you going, and things that motivate you, okay? Things that you want to do. And it could be anything. It could be, some people are into this, some people are into that. But it's important to explore that. And I feel like because of this energy that's coming back to you, because so many of you are like, okay, I'm not going to keep going down the same road. I feel like the first 2 weeks of January, especially, you're going to start to like explore these things, even if it's in your mind, of ways you want to go. Now, these two cards here, the Six of Pentacles reversed and the Three of Pentacles reversed, this is talking about explaining more of how parts of yourself were chipped away at when you were younger, and maybe still do to a certain extent. We'll start off with the Six of Pentacles. Yes, this is a card of giving, of charity, right? But the meaning I have for you in this card is that you weren't given the opportunity to, like, a lot of you weren't praised enough, or it wasn't, or you didn't feel like you were being recognized, or things weren't given to you as far as like opportunities, especially, like I said, like praise and job well done type of a thing. And I feel like that's been part of the reason why it's almost like I feel like things were held back from you. Like when you did do really well, like you got an A+ on a test, or you won an award at school or something like that, like it wasn't fully recognized. And so that was part of this, where you learned like not to kind of explore that kind of more outwardly majestic part, like the Leo side of yourself, okay? And then with this Three of Pentacles reversed, this is saying, like, again, you can see that there's a craftsman here working on something and people are looking at it. Again, this is the work that you do. It's almost like the world doesn't necessarily reward you for things that you do. But what I'm feeling also is that a lot of you need to start putting in the work in order to get the praise. So it's kind of like this dual thing. A lot of you might have a fear of stepping out in front of people, giving your creations, going for that new job, getting that new education, going for that relationship, starting that business, whatever it is. You're afraid of it, and it's because of things you've gone through in the past, right? But also part of it is this kind of you don't want to put it out there because you're not fully like confident in it, right? Now this is all changing, because as I said, you're beginning to realize that, okay, I need to start taking these pieces of myself. They're coming back, and I feel like they're coming back into you, and now it's a time to apply it, which you will. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the World card reversed, which is also excellent even when it's reversed, and you've got the Justice card reversed. Now, what this is saying here is that the World card reversed is like an energy that, victory is close at hand. Like a lot of you don't even realize how close you are to making amazing changes in your life. Like it might seem, from where you're standing, you might think that like success in life is like a million miles away. Okay. It might feel like, but in actuality, what this is saying is this is like the sun behind the clouds on a sunny day, but it's the clouds are covering the sun. The sun is right there. Okay. And your whole world is right there. And what you don't realize is that when you begin to make these changes, you have a lot less effort that needs to be put out than you think. You have a lot less of a distance to go in order to get that success. It's just a matter of like making a decision and starting to go for it. Okay. So that's what this world card, you're very close to it. You just have to start doing it. You have to start, you know, delving into that Leo 5th house. Okay. Put yourself out there. Now the Justice card is interesting when it's reversed, is that this is really saying, it's like, about, are you being like too cautious in making, you know, moves forward? Okay. Are you're like, a lot of you are like weighing things out, and what you're doing is this, it's going along with this, like, oh, I don't know, that's a lot to do, I don't know, like it's almost like you psych yourself out of it. Okay, because you're weighing things out in your mind, and you're thinking like, okay, I don't, it doesn't make sense to me right now. But again, the Justice card, you know, rules all of the air signs. So this is thought, and this is, you know, intellect, right? And so a lot of it is in your own mind. And so when you're trying to judge which way to go, you just have to throw caution to the wind, and that's part of it. It's like the best way I can describe, you know, Leo North Node, or Leo 5th house North Node, is you're afraid to go on that stage, but you just got to go out there. You got to pick up that karaoke mic. You got to do, you just got to go for it. Okay. And so what's going to keep you back is in your mind. Okay. That's the only thing that could really hold you back, is your own mind and your thinking. So yeah, great month. A lot of stuff is returning to you. It wasn't your fault. The person or people that, you know, through you, who you experienced through this through, didn't mean it. It was unconscious, but you know, it, yes, it did damage nonetheless. But remember, you have what it takes to do something or some things great in this lifetime. You just have to do it. And only you can do it. No one is going to do it for you. You have to do it. But you're going to see when you start to do it, things are going to happen very, very quickly in a positive way. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. Hope you found this reading helpful. And also want to wish you a very happy new year, and we will see you on some more videos. So many blessings. Okay, North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. Okay, very interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the reverse 10 of Wands. Now, before we get into the spread, remember the collective North Node is in Pisces, and the South Node is in Virgo. But remember, this is going to activate anyone that has either their North or South Node in Pisces or Virgo, is going to be activated this year throughout the next like 18 months. And for you, I feel like you're going to be given ideas of trying to pick out the best parts of Virgo in order to embody them, or the 6th house, embody them in your life. And also to look at the best parts in Pisces, that you can take advantage of it, because there are gifts in our South Node. Okay. So I feel like there's going to be things that are going to be shown to you of ways that you can take the best parts of your South Node in Pisces and or the 12th house and utilize them. Now, what's happening the first half of January is you're in this process of unburdening. A lot of you have been going on this healing journey, and a lot of you are in the process, when you look back on what's going on right now in your life, and then the beginning of January, you're in this process of unburdening yourself. You're unburdening yourself from thoughts from the past, from old wounds, a lot of things. Like a lot of you are just like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm throwing that off my back. I'm done with that. I'm throwing that. And you're in this process. Okay. So it's almost like this is so like North Node in Virgo or the 6th house, because Virgo in the 6th house rules cleaning and organization, right? It's almost like you're in the process the first 2 weeks of having the ability to organize and clean up your life. Okay, so you're taking things off that no longer, I'm take that, send it to the, put a garage sale, send it to the thrift store or whatever. You're doing this in your lifetime. Now, what is it that you're unburdening yourself from? Well, couple things here. We'll look at your timeline cards. You've got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. You've got the Eight of Wands reversed. And you've got the Strength card reversed. Some of the things you're unburdening yourself are whether or not when to have patience or impatience. And you're waiting for things and you're like, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to be impatient about certain things in my life. Okay, I just have to allow things to, and this is the positive part of your South Node in the 12th house or Pisces. I just have to go with the flow. Okay, the flow of the world. Okay, now you don't want to do that too much, but you're realizing that, okay, you want to have this balance between organization and work, which is your North Node, and also being the ability to go with the flow. Okay, so you're realizing you don't have to give that up. The other thing that's happening too is going along with that is you've got this Eight of Wands reversed. And this is, again, this is a card of movement. You see these 8 wands flying through the air. And when it's reversed, it's about like changing direction, but it's also about like when you think of, something moving forward, like let's say, a stream, right? The stream is definitely flowing in a certain direction, okay? And that's what this is. And so one of the things that you're unburdening yourself is you are not necessarily just accepting the flow of what's going on, but you're also willing to go with it when you need to go with the flow, type of a thing. That's one of the skills you're learning. It's not always good to just go with whatever's happening, to go with the flow. Sometimes we need to take action and we need to make changes, right? But it's also not good to like overly plan, overly organize. Sometimes, things just have to be. That's one of the things that, you're learning during this whole process of the first 2 weeks of January. Now, you have the Strength card reversed. This is a big one, what you're unburdening. And what this is the Strength card is a very, very deep card that has many, many layers of meanings. One of the meanings of the Strength card is this is us struggling against parts of ourselves. Let's say, like some people call it the animal nature, So us, the untamed parts of ourselves, how we struggle with that. And this is really saying, with the Strength card reverse, is that you have to know when that you need to delve into this struggle and when you need to recognize, like, again, I don't need to get into this right now. I don't need to have this inner struggle. And I feel like a lot of you are freeing yourselves up from this internal struggle with it's almost like there are, like two beings inside you that you're struggling with. You're one side of your nature and then another side of your nature. And I feel like that struggle is going to lessen. That's one of the things you're unburdening yourself with. Now, your advice cards are interesting. You've got the Seven of Swords upright, and you've got the Death card reversed. Now, if you watch my channel for any length of time, when I talk about the so-called scary cards, the Devil, the Death card, the Tower, they're nothing to fear. They're just certain energies, okay? The Death card is about transformation. What's really important, your advice in this reading, while you're making these changes, okay, while you're unburdening yourself, learning to balance the best of Pisces in the 12th house and the best of Virgo in the 6th house. What's really important is your change and your transformation in your life could be marred by things that have happened to you in your past, mentally and emotionally. In other words, memories that you have, and I feel it's from, your past life too, but in this lifetime where, things were taken away from you, self-esteem, dignity, whatever it was, or you weren't like fully loved to a full extent. Mentally and emotionally, things were definitely, if you have your North Node in Virgo or the 6th house, it's a very challenging North Node, okay? But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't allow things, memories and things from the past to dictate your present and thus put you into your future. So whatever has happened to you, and it's really important that North Nodes in Virgo or the 6th house continue on this path of healing. It happened for a reason, in order for, remember, Virgo in the 6th house and Pisces in the 12th house, especially Pisces in the 12th house, are about experience, the full spectrum of experiences, both positive and negative, right? And all this was you are a high level being who went through some really intense things in order to have those experiences so you would understand them. And that's all that was saying. So when you look at your past, things that you've gone through, you can explain, like, here's what I mean by experience. We only understand something to a full extent, whether that be a positive experience or a negative experience. We only understand it when we've actually experienced it ourselves. We can try to explain it, but no, we don't really fully understand something unless we experience it. And that's what your life has been. It's so you can go through this, so you can move on, because it's almost like, I feel like people that have their South Node in the 12th house and or Pisces have some of the most rich experiences, but it's also, as I said, a very, very difficult South Node to have. But you have these rich experiences in order to not only refine yourself as a person, but what you're going to find is that your experiences as you go through life have real value to other people, because you can not only, you have more compassion for people in the world, you have more compassion for yourself, but you can understand more so than other North Nodes about what people are experiencing. So just remember, it's just about experience, and you don't need to hold on to it and let it keep like harming you or hurting you. It's time to like heal and kind of let it go. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Happy New Year and many blessings. Okay, North Node in Libra and or the 7th house. Okay, very interesting. So the theme card that popped out in this reading is the Empress card. What's interesting about this is that, your North Node in Libra or the 7th house is an air sign, normally ruled by the suit of swords. And air is, all about communication and, in the intellect, the way we use our minds, right? But the thing about Libra in the 7th house is its planetary ruler is Venus. And you don't normally think about, Venus, the planet of love, as a thing that would be something that would be communication or mental abilities. But the thing that's interesting about this Empress is when I saw it, I was knowing what the message was exactly for you North Nodes in Libra or the 7th house. And this was the first half of January is going to be looking at how you communicate love in your life, how you communicate care, and how you communicate emotions. Okay. And this is also how you communicate them to yourself, inwardly, outwardly, and inwardly. And that's when I saw this Empress. This is what it is you're becoming. Is I feel like a lot of you have learned that, you've learned to tame some of the wildness of your south node in Aries and or the first house. And what you're learning is you're learning that you are becoming strong in a different way that has nothing to do with the planet Mars or Aries, okay, or the first house, right? You're becoming a person that is adding to who you are, not taking away, but just adding, and learning to kind of calm down some of that Aries energy. So the first half of January is all about communicating, as I said, love and emotions to yourself and to the world. Now, your timeline cards are kind of backing all this up. So you've got the Ace of Swords upright. You've got the Two of Swords upright. And you've got the Hierophant reversed. So we'll start with the Hierophant here, okay? So this is saying like what you're learning and continuing to learn is this is about breaking tradition, breaking patterns, ways of being, the way you've always thought about things, your personal philosophy when it comes to love and relationships, when it comes to how you are in the world, okay? These are all like patterns, okay? Tradition is good, but tradition and patterns can be not so good if we are perpetuating things that we shouldn't be perpetuating, okay? And I feel like a lot of you are kind of realizing it. Okay, things have to change. And especially now at the beginning of 2025, okay, we're all thinking about what ways we can improve our lives and ourselves, right? Now, these two other sword cards here, you've got the Ace of Swords, and as I said, you've got the Two of Swords. One of the things that wants to happen, and I feel like you're going to really be able to use this in the month of January, and especially the first half, is some of you may be having trouble with keeping your heart open or approaching life heart first, okay? And this is a natural thing, okay, when you have a south node in Aries, and or the first house, okay? Aries ruled by the planet Mars, okay? It's the sign of the warrior. And what do warriors do? As warriors, they have to protect their internal organs. They put on armor as a protection. And that's what this Two of Swords is saying, is that a lot of times you're not physically putting on armor, but the Two of Swords, you're mentally a lot of times putting on armor. Like you're approaching life like suited up for battle. Now, what's going to happen this first half of January is you're going to be getting these prompts to like, okay, it's time to like open up and enter situations heart first. But here's the difficult thing. The difficult thing is it's one thing to know that, but I think that you're going to have an opportunity the first 2 weeks where something is going to happen, I believe, within some sort of a relationship. And you can approach it one of two ways. You can approach it with old patterns, which is something has happened. And we'll get into what could happen, okay? But it's a situation that could require your old ways of being is like getting your sword, putting your armor on. Okay, let's do this. And it's something within a relationship. Or, okay, you can open up the heart center and approach it. It doesn't mean you approach it haphazardly, but you open up and you approach it by your Libra South Node or the 7th house, which is, let me try to see what this other person's point of view is. Let me try to see where they're coming from. Let me try to, even though I may be scared, I may be angry, I may be upset or something to that effect, I'm going to try to keep my heart open. I'm going to try to not approach the situation in an old pattern and just like in a very Aries or first house way. And that's what this is saying. Okay, this is, the Ace of Swords is knowing like when to what to communicate, how to communicate, but especially like taking action of some sort. It's literally like when to pick up your sword and when not to draw your sword. Okay, so this is what is going to happen is there's going to be something in a relationship situation. And this is like the beginning of, a lot of you are probably already doing this to some extent, but this is good practice to where when something happens, keeping that heart center open and approaching the situation from that a very Libra Venus way, which is, where are they coming from? Let me see if I have all the information. Can I, through all this difficult thing, can I keep my heart open? Can I keep a loving way of communicating? And that's where the key is because, you know, we're human. Like someone says, I mean, I have Pluto in the first house. Okay. So someone says something not so nice and it's like immediate, it's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to, like, you know, you pick up your sword and like, you're going to, you know, tap me. I'm going to tap you. Okay. So, you know, I get it, right? You know, where it's not always easy, okay, to keep that, but can we learn to try to learn to communicate with more of a heart-centered, you know, to come heart first. And that doesn't mean being weak or wishy-washy. It just means like, can we not immediately go to picking up the sword and the shield and the armor type of a thing. Now, your two advice cards are, you got the Five of Cups here, and you've got the Lovers reversed. Now, the relationship that I'm thinking of, for many of you, it could be in a romantic relationship, okay? But the Lovers card is not just romantic relationships. It's partnerships of all kinds, okay? So partnerships, relationships, yes, for a lot of you, it's going to be your significant other. For others, it could be a family member or a close friend. For others, it could be a work relationship, okay? And for others, for you know, some of you, many of you, it could be, you know, happen on multiple fronts, right? All you have to remember is when something happens and you have an initial reaction internally before you actually take action, before you have a reaction within you, if you can say, okay, do I need to approach this in an old pattern way, and just, do I need to go and get upset, get mad, get scared, get whatever it is, or can I think about it and communicate in a different way? And this Five of Cups is saying, look, you know, I don't feel like this is going to be something that's going to be, you know, like a big end of the world type of a thing, you know, as far as the relationship, but it could be emotionally upsetting and hurtful. And the Five of Cups is saying, you know, that because there's only three cups spilled and you have the two cups, there's still like love there. I don't feel like for most of you, these relationships that are going to occur and that are going to have this happen, I don't think they're relationships that need to be blown up and walked away from. That's what this is saying. This is saying like, okay, it's something that's happened. It's you might get upset in some way, and the other person might be upset, but it's nothing to where, you know, you want to make sure that the way that you are communicating through the situation, if you can. Now, it's going to take a tremendous amount of restraint and you know, strength, okay? But this is one of the things you're learning. You're learning to be the strong but soft and tender warrior in this lifetime. It doesn't mean you have to be you know, always like, you're not a doormat, but what you have to do is you have to learn to, you don't always have to go to warrior mode, okay? So that's what's going to happen for the first 2 weeks of January, and it could happen, as I said, on multiple fronts. So all you have to do is approach situations, and this is good advice for the whole rest of your life. Try to approach situations from an emotional, heart-centered space, and you're going to do fine. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We will see you on some more videos. Happy New Year. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed Queen of Cups. And I feel like this is speaking to your development as a Scorpio North Node and or North eighth house North Node, because this is ruling all the water signs here. What's interesting is the court cards can either be like refer to an energy or they can refer to an actual person. In this case, I feel like this is speaking to some skills that you're going to want to develop this first part of the year, but especially the first 2 weeks of January. What's going to happen is we'll look in your timeline cards to get more clarity here. You've got the Two of Swords upright. You've got the 10 of Pentacles upright, and you've got the King of Swords reversed. What I'm feeling like is for a lot of you, there's going to be a situation where there's something that is happening within, your close-knit family, okay? And it's something that could have, it's has gone on for a while. So the 10 of Pentacles is like, family legacy or, family traditions. Okay. A lot of times it has to do with like money and finances, and there could be a money element or, money, property, investments, inheritances. There could be that, but I think more importantly, what this is has to do with something that's happened within like a family, like legacy. And it's something that is kind of, challenging. It's something that, you maybe haven't dealt with fully. It's something where you might have like walked away from it because it was just like either too messy or, too complicated, and you just didn't feel like kind of delving into it. And as I said, it's something that could have just, arisen in your family, or for some people, it could be something that is, from the past. What I'm thinking of is that, with this Two of Swords, and then you've got the King of Swords reversed, I feel like there's going to be, for a lot of you, one key person that this is, revolving around. So, and I feel like the energy is very kind of like, it could be like cold and distant or like emotionally detached, maybe not nice or pleasant communication. And so that's what this King of Swords is saying. It could be anybody. It could be, like I said, I think it could be even in a friend group for some of you, but I think this is much more personal. It's going to be like either very, very close friend groups or family, right? And what you're dealing with is you're dealing with kind of coming to terms with the situation that this person is involved in. Now, the King of Swords, it doesn't necessarily mean it's male, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's a father or uncle or brother or something like that. It could be a male or female. The only difference between, the King and Queen cards is they're just different flavors or expressions of that energy. It's expressed in different ways, just like, men and women and all genders, we express things in different ways. So this is just saying I'm getting like cold, detached type of a thing. And this Two of Swords is saying that, like, for a lot of you, you just really haven't felt like dealing with it, for a while. It's like you've kind of closed off, you've protected yourself well, to a certain extent, even though it's been difficult, you've protected yourself. But what's wanting to happen is it's time to deal with it. It's time to take on this, mode of Scorpio North Node and or eighth house North Node. And it's time to dig deeper and figure this out once and for all. And that's what's going to happen the first 2 weeks is you're going to have the opportunity to kind of dig into this, family situation or close friend relationship situation. You're going to have an opportunity to delve deeper into it. What does that mean? That means what the Two of Swords is saying: open up your intuition. You have a natural intuition. A lot of you are naturally psychic, okay? You're very intuitive. And it's time to go deeper into the underlying undercurrents, okay, to, the North Node in Scorpio is the investigator, it's the researcher, it's the psychologist. It's time to open up and dive deeper. Now, even if that can be uncomfortable, the great thing is there's going to be a payoff. This situation requires you to do this. What's going to happen if you can do this is, I feel on the other end of it, even if it might take some time, there's more healing. So you're not just burying this inside you. That's not healing, but you're bringing it to the surface to be healed one way or the other. Now, we'll look at your advice cards here. You've got the Three of Swords reversed, and you've got the Five of Wands. Okay, so the Three of Swords reversed is saying, look, if you have an opportunity, if you do not engage and kind of go into this in order to, get into the mud, get messy, and deal with this situation, there's an opportunity, or I should say, there's a chance that this might not heal fully. The reverse Three of Swords is saying that healing can come when you engage, and that's what this Five of Wands is saying. The Five of Wands is about, yes, conflict. It even could be it even rules like competition, okay? But it's about, you can see these five people here are engaging in, some sort of competition or conflict. And so it's like you have to get in there and do it. Now, what you've done previously is, with this situation, a lot of you have just kind of not really wanted to get into it, okay? And so what this is saying is, no, it's time to get into it once and for all, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But as I said, the payoff is there's going to be there's going to be healing and understanding. You're going to be better off at the end of this. So the first 2 weeks of January, watch for an opportunity to do this. This is a skill building technique for you North Nodes in Scorpio and or the 8th house. And you're going to see this is going to make you a stronger person. It's going to make you more whole. And it's going to kind of really help you moving forward on your path. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Happy New Year. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius and or the 9th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Page of Swords. And one of the meanings of this card, and I feel like it really applies in this situation, is it's about paying attention or being vigilant, being watchful and observant, in your life. What I feel like is there is a lot of you, the universe and your personal spirit guides, they're trying to get your attention in some way regarding your life, okay? And you're supposed to be paying attention. Now, it's easy to when the general universe is trying to communicate with us. It does it in many ways. It does it through other people. It does it through dreams or just, thoughts that come in. There's lots of ways that, the universe tries to give us a heads up on things. And you want to pay attention because the universe is trying to help you in some way on your path. And it's trying to get you to move in certain directions that are going to be beneficial to you, okay? Let's look at your timeline cards and we'll get some more clarity. So you've got the Knight of Pentacles upright. You've got the 8 of Wands reversed. And you've got the 4 of Cups upright. So we'll start with the 4 of Cups. Again, you can see here what's happening here with the 4 of Cups is, yes, this is a a card of a person being emotionally, you know, not really there or connected, or being kind of, you know, depressed in some way. Okay, but that's not what this means for you. You can see here that there is this cup that's flying through the air, okay, with a cloud behind it. Okay, so this is like, you know, you could say something coming from a source that is, its origin is non-physical. Okay, so it's something. This is why I say it's a universal energy, which means it could be this aha moment or things that just happen and occur. But you know, in this case, this is communication that's coming from the universe to you. And the person sitting here is concerned with the cups that are on the ground, on the earth. And what they're doing is they're so involved with the cups that are connected to the earth, you know, everyday life. They're missing things that are being shown to them. Okay, and so that's why this goes along with this. This is about being vigilant. Now, what the universe is trying to show you, we'll get in a minute. Okay, we'll get in this. But these other two cards here, let's look at this. The Eight of Swords reversed, or Eight of Wands, I should say. This is a change of direction, because a lot of you are headed off in, you know, lots of different directions, ways that, you know, the universe is trying to rein you in and get you on your path. That's what all these wands, you know, are saying. It's like, yes, they're flying in unison, but they're all going in different destinations. Okay, so there's a change of direction coming, and the Knight of Pentacles is saying that one of the main messages for you is it's time to pause and really kind of see where you're at. Okay, it's time to, you need to change direction, just like, you know, going fast on a road, needing to make a turn, or getting off the freeway. You have to kind of slow your speed. You're not going to hit a turn if you're going down a 50-mile-an-hour highway when you need to make a right-hand turn. You're not going to still go 50 miles an hour. You got to slow down. And that's what this is saying, in order to pay attention to this. Now, what is the universe trying to tell you? For each of you, it's going to be slightly different. But I think the general message is found in these two advice cards. So you've got the Emperor upright, and you've got the Three of Swords. What this is saying is that there is something regarding your emotional past, emotional hurts, things that are still kind of with you, and you're needing to change direction on it, or look at whatever has happened in the past emotionally that was hurtful, and look at it in a different way. This could also mean, I'm really feeling, this could be something that has just happened very recently. So it could be the recent past, or something that actually just comes up. So for some of you, it's going to be in the, you know, the past. Some of you, it's going to be more recent. But it's something that was emotionally wounding. And where the direction that you want to go in this is that I feel like you're going to be given direction from some outside source. Okay, that could be through a book or a video, or another person that is going to kind of help get you in the right direction, or change the direction that you're on. It could be like, for example, this just popped into my head, like if someone takes an online course that's taught by somebody, and then they learn something, and this person becomes kind of like, you know, a leader or guru in their lives, or they go to a seminar. Okay, that's just one example how it could be like a person. But as I said, it could be a book, it could be something else that gets you to change direction. But the Emperor also means something else. This is also who you're evolving toward. And I feel like what's tied up in this is that in this first 2 weeks of January, one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to be asked to kind of stand your ground on some of your beliefs. That's tied into this. Like, it's, you know, it's kind of, this is going to help formulate what it is you truly believe, what your personal beliefs or philosophies are. And I feel like part of this is going to be like helping you to formulate this. Basically, what this is standing in your power, learning to stand in your power with your beliefs and on your path. So this is a really positive thing. All you have to do is pay attention if you're being prompted, and and know that you're intuitive, right? Sagittarius north nodes as well as um, Gemini north nodes are highly intuitive. So if you are being prompted and you feel like in your heart and in your gut that you should be like changing direction, listen to that. Listen to that advice. Listen to stuff that's happening around you, and especially with somebody that um, has either who is in your life or who will appear in your life in some way, that can help direct you. But essentially, what's going on is you are being directed on your path in a certain way to change direction, to stand more in your power, to refine your philosophies and belief systems. But it's definitely this kind of self-empowerment thing that's happening. And the reason for that essentially is the gifts you have in your Gemini south node or third house south node is going off in too many directions. It's diluting you a little bit, okay? And so you need to be full strength. That's essentially what this is you're empowered, but you're becoming full strength instead of having going off in lots of different directions. But yeah, be vigilant this first half of January and see where you're getting prompted to move towards. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Happy New Year and many blessings. Okay, North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Seven of Cups. So the first half of January, there's going to be a situation that's going to arise where you could be going through, and I feel like it's not just going to arise, but this has kind of been ongoing, where there's emotional confusion, that is in one or more aspects of your life. It's like emotional choices that are tough, or not knowing what to do. It's like this, as I said, this emotional confusion that could be going on. And there is a way out of it, but a lot of you have been kind of feeling like that, where it's like you're torn. Like part of you feels this way, and another part of you feels that way, and it's like which way to go emotionally. Okay, things that maybe were clear to you emotionally in the past are confusing now, right? Let's look at your timeline cards, and we'll see how this is going to clear up. So you've got the Temperance card. You've got the Eight of Cups, and you've got the Chariot card. Okay, great card. So what's happening here is that we're going to look at the Seven of Cups here, and we're going to look at the Eight of Cups. There's multiple cups on both of these cards, right? The emotional confusion this is about making sense. The Eight of Cups is about making sense of the confusion and walking away from it. And going down your path. When you look at this card, you can see the person here is they've got their staff and they've got their backpack. They've made sense of things in their life, and they're going on a journey. And when we think about going on a journey, we can think about, like we're leaving comfort zones. Okay, this has been a big theme through your whole life, okay, being kind of pushed out of comfort zones into the world, right? But this is you making a choice to like say, okay, I need to make sense of things that are happening into my life, and it's time to move forward. This is a card of movement. It's emotionally moving away from certain things in your life. And you can see that the cups here that the angel is holding in the Temperance card is This is part of the inner alchemy that's going on with you, is that there's a confusion right now, but you're going to sort it out, because this inner alchemy, this is part of your transformation on your path, okay? And as I said, the Eight of Cups is a card of movement, because this person is moving away emotionally from things that no longer serve them. And this card is also a card of movement, the Chariot. Now, I feel like a lot of you are going to have breakthroughs. I think that even if it's on a small scale, even if it's someone that, just starts to take those first steps in creating a better life and making sense of their emotional past and present, I feel like they're going to be rewarded. And I feel like everybody who's listening to this reading, all of the north nodes in Capricorn and or the 10th house are going to make positive forward movement. Okay. And that's what the Chariot's saying. Even if it's on a small scale. Does that mean all of you are going to have tremendous growth? No, like some of you will, some of you won't. The way to approach this is, remember, if you're doing things that you kind of feel deep down inside you should be doing, but they're uncomfortable, it's the right thing to do, okay? But this also, the Chariot is talking about all you're doing is you're balancing out things that are imbalanced in your life in order to move forward. Now, this is some of the things that are happening that are really great news for you. It's found in your advice cards here. So you've got the King of Cups here, okay? That's referring to your Cancer South Node or 4th house South Node. And then you've got the Magician reversed. The Magician card itself, one of the meanings of it is it's about mastery of things, becoming proficient and becoming a master at various things. The Magician is multi-talented, you could say, right? What you're learning, and I think that this is the big kind of thing that's going to help you, is there are talents, and I think that they come, a lot of them, from your South Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. There are talents and gifts there that are not being used. For a lot of you, it's kind of like, because they were like misused, they weren't used in the right way. But I feel like in order to move forward, you're going to be able to tap into the gifts that you have in that South Node in some way. And that means through being emotionally present, being emotionally intelligent, all of these things that you have as natural gifts, you're going to be able to use in some way as a skill. And you're learning that, oh, I can apply this in the world. Like there are things that you have, talents that you haven't used properly, but when used properly, they have great value. And I've used this example before, but it bears repeating, right? Because some of you may have not heard it, right? There, you can walk into, we're going to talk about practical use of the skills of a South Node in Cancer or the 4th house. As I said, the ability to read emotions, the undercurrent emotions, being emotionally intelligent, being emotionally present. A person walks into a meeting in a business, in a corporation, and someone that is not really emotionally intelligent would, or being able to they don't have those feelers out, can walk into a room and they just see a bunch of people. And what they're doing is they're maybe reading faces or like body language or things like that, okay, which only gives you so much information. But they're just looking at things like what I can see, taste, touch, feel, okay, just, that kind of a thing. A person that is emotionally present and emotionally, intuitive and intelligent will walk into a room and can feel in, they'll see a person and then they'll feel deeper in what they're feeling, what they're thinking. That's a skill. My point is that is a very tangible skill. In fact, some of the greatest business people in the world are some that are highly intuitive, that just go by their hunches, right? So you're walking into this situation and you have these skills, which what you're learning is that maybe when you were growing up, they told you you're just being overly sensitive, or you're too sensitive, you're too touchy, you know, and so you've learned to shut that part of you off. What you're learning this first half of January is you're learning that there are valuable skills in being too sensitive. Okay. You don't have to have, like, going from being overly sensitive and touchy to completely no sense. What you're learning is, as you step into your Capricorn power, as you step into your 10th house power, you're learning that these skills have value in the real world in practical ways, okay? And so that is a huge thing. So remember, the confusion is going to start to go away the minute you can make sense of, okay, there's ways to use my emotions properly and my sensitivity properly, and there's ways not to. And so right now there's a confusion of how to do that, but I feel like that's changing. So the first half of January, think of ways where you can use those gifts and not misuse them. And I feel like most of you are going to start to like see that, especially this is going to be an ongoing thing for your whole year. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Happy New Year to you, and many blessings. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. Okay, really interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the reverse Nine of Swords. And when I saw this card, what the feeling I got for you, North Nodes, in Aquarius and or the 11th house, was that there is going to be a lessening of anxiety to a certain extent, a lessening of worry and anxiety, and possibly like, this could be in like, not having good sleep or dreams, but just like an overall like anxiety or worry. And I feel like it's like lessening because a lot of you have been, coming from a place of, kind of, it's been intense, right? The past few months. And Leos are very, your South Node in Leo or the 5th house really, approach life with a very kind of wearing their heart on their sleeve. And I feel like it's been intense, but there's worry that is going to be like leaving you. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that the problem is going to be perfectly solved right away, but I think a lot of you are going to begin to find solutions to what was causing the worry, or find answers to some way. So it's going to start to move forward in a positive way. Let's look at your timeline cards and we'll get some more clarity. So you've got the 7 of Pentacles reversed. You've got the 9 of Pentacles reversed, and then you've got the 2 of Cups. So what the things you're worried about, okay, could be, things you've been worried about is like, yes, like money, finances could be part of it. There could be an impatience of like, things aren't, transpiring like you would like on the money front. Okay. And then for some of you, it's going to be in addition where maybe it's like a lifestyle thing where it's like there's a certain lifestyle that you want. There's like an impatience of not being able to maybe live the lifestyle that you truly want, because most people that have a South Node in Leo and or the 5th house had past lives, a lot of them, that where they came from, like, wealth, affluence and influence. And so anyway, but all this is going away because what you're really going to learn, and I think that there's going to be someone or some people that are going to step up, into your life. And, they could be like, close people in your family, friends. that you're going to find what's truly important in your life. And that's where this Two of Cups comes in. I feel like there's going to be emotional help that is coming to you, like an emotional connection. And this is like a long time coming, because I feel like a lot of you have been, you know, kind of deprived on the emotional front. Like, the universe is kind of like, remember, part of your path being an Aquarius North Node, or, 11th house North Node, is to learn how to be emotionally detached, right? And I feel like you've been deprived of that kind of emotional comfort, kind of for your own good, in a way, to kind of get you into that kind of not approaching life always from, um, overly, emotional standpoint. But I feel like, so what's coming in for you the first half of January is this kind of like emotional relief, and I feel like it's going to come from a source that is, could be multiple sources that are close to you, right? And it's going to help alleviate this worry. And I feel like this is kind of like this reset button, where it's like, you've learned the things you need to learn, all of you, some of you to a greater degree than others possibly, right? But everyone who's watching this, you've learned a lot of things the past several months and couple of years. And now it's like, okay, it's time to like go to the next level. And I think this is like a little bit of a break, an emotional break, where you're going to feel like, there are people around you and situations where they understand you. And so there's going to be this like help in some way. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Knight of Swords reversed, and you've got the Hierophant reversed. What's going to be really important going through this process, and as you feel like the worry and anxiety start to drop, it's going to be important for you to do two things. First and foremost, to slow down, okay? Because this could be a situation to where, because some people, when we feel anxiety and worry, it gets us to do hyper activity, like hyper movements, and we move very fast because we're trying to, get out of an uncomfortable feeling, right? So it's important for you to slow down in order for the people or person near you that you can get this kind of help from the universe and from this other person close to you. I feel there's going to be this comfort. So it's important for you at this point to slow down, because remember, you're about to change directions. And that's what all this is. You've gone to a certain level, you've learned what you needed to learn on this level, and now you're at this point where, okay, take some deep breaths, get some emotional comfort, and it's time to continue on the path. But in order to do that, you got to slow down, okay? You got to slow down to make this turn. And then you've got the Hierophant reverse, which is about, the other heads up for you is making sure that, you don't, because of feeling anxiety and worry for so long, that you don't kind of go into old patterns. And that's what this is saying. It's like, make sure you don't do the same old, right? But like, I think most of you will realize when you pause, because it's important that you just don't kind of continue on this path, because it's almost like you might kind of miss this whole stage and just push yourself onto the next level, which would be okay. I mean, you're going to learn, but just don't throw away this opportunity to kind of take some deep breaths, get the worry away from you, let the emotional comfort and healing come from the source that it's going to come from, and as I said, because the danger is you could, and I mean danger, meaning you could like miss this whole stage and just get thrown in, and, you won't be equipped as well as if you do this kind of pause and make sure you don't kind of stumble into that next level of where you're going to. And so that's all this is. This is a pause. Allow yourself to get this emotional comfort. Enjoy the fact that, some of the worry and anxiety could be going away. It doesn't mean life's going to be perfect, but I feel like it's going to start to kind of, you're going to take some deep breaths in order to kind of continue on the journey through 2025. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Happy New Year. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. Okay, well, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. This is your time, right? So the collective North Node goes into Pisces on January 11th, 2025, right? Now, what does it mean when the collective North Node goes into our personal natal North Node? And this, even though it's going into Pisces, this also includes you North Nodes in the 12th house, energetic-wise. So what it means is it's like a graduation period. It's like a check-in. And so for the next 18 months, starting on January 11th, the North Node is going to be in Pisces. And this is a time for you to shine. Okay. This is a time for you to maximize your timeline, to maximize your path. There are going to be rewards that handed out. It's a time of growth. There also could be some corrections of things that you need to correct on your path. It's very much kind of like a Saturn return in a lot of ways, because it's a time to kind of see where you're at on your North Node path. Now, one of the ways to work with this before we get into the cards, is this would be great homework for all of you, is to do some research. And a lot of you already know this, but this would be great to kind of go over and research, Google, whatever you need to do, go through books, to look at all of the positive aspects of Pisces. Because every sign in the zodiac has a positive side and a negative side. When it's reflected in our North Node, normally it's a positive. So you want to research, Google all of the positive aspects of the sign of Pisces, okay? Not the negative, all the positive. And then you want to do the same thing with your South Node in Virgo. So but this time you want to look at all of the negative aspects, because normally our South Node is reflected in our life more negatively because it's our past, it's our instinctual tendencies. So it's usually the negative side of that sign is reflected. But there are also gifts there, but it's usually reflected negatively. Old patterns are found there, right? So you want to research what are all the negative sides of Virgo. And what that'll do is, as you're going through the next 18 months and going down your path, just simply, if you get a good idea of the positive aspects and keep those in mind of Pisces and the negative of Virgo, as you're moving through your life and navigating day to day, month to month, you'll be able to make decisions based on the positive aspects of Pisces. Okay, so this is a very, very important exercise for all of us to do, but especially when the North Node goes into your personal sign. And then you just keep that in mind, because what you might find is a situation arises and you might have a certain reaction to the situation. If you briefly ask yourself, okay, I feel like my instincts say I should do this, but will this action or reaction be more reflecting the South Node in Virgo, the negative tendencies, or does it reflect the positive aspects of Pisces, right? And so that's the practical use of this. And when you do this, what you're doing is you're doubling up on your rewards and blessings from the universe. Because the interesting thing about the North Node is when we follow it, there's something very magical that happens. It's like we get help from the universe. And the best way I can describe it is, I don't know for sure, and no one really does. No astrologer knows why it works. But I think, the way I look at the universe is it's always seeking balance. So simply when we follow our North Node, what we're doing is we're balancing out overused and outworn energies from our North or our South Node. And we're developing and we're balancing them out with the positive of the North Node. And so it just seems like, the universe always seeks balance. So we get rewards for that. Anyway, let's get into your reading here. So you've got the card that popped out for you is the King of Swords reversed. Now, this, when I saw this card, I instantly thought of Virgo South Node because, overanalyzing, overthinking things like that. Okay, so the first half of January, there's going to be a situation that could kick you into overthinking, overanalyzing. Now, even though Virgo is an earth sign and swords rule all of the air signs, the planet that rules Virgo is Mercury, okay, which is very much like thinking and intellect. And our mind is a tool that can be misused, right? And so what's happening is the first half of January, one of the first things you want to do is make sure you're not hyper-focusing, over-analyzing, over-critical of something in your life, and overthinking things, okay? Which is the opposite of your North Node in Pisces and in the 12th house. Let's see how this is going to play out. Okay, so you've got the Sun card upright, or excuse me, reversed. You've got the 10 of Pentacles upright, and you've got the 6 of Cups upright. So the Sun card reversed, I'm also going to mention your two advice cards, which we're not going to get into, but I'll mention them. You've got the World card reversed, and you've got the Empress. The reason I wanted to bring in the advice cards is because you've got two cards that are amazing and that are also positive when they're reversed. You've got the World card reversed and the Sun card. And these are cards that are, the way I describe it is like when you have a sunny day, but a cloud goes over and blocks the sun and it gets all like dark and gray. The sun hasn't gone away, it's just being blocked. So that beautiful sunny day is there, it's just being obscured. And once the clouds move away, you have the sunny day. The World is kind of the same thing. Is when you see the World card reversed, it's like this is a person that could be close to a breakthrough or breakthroughs. It's like they're there, they're working at it, and in order that they have an opportunity, just like the Wheel of Fortune reversed, where they have the opportunity to kind of turn their world around positive. So they're both positive cards. Now, what could you be overthinking, in the first half of January? Okay, that's what these two cards are saying. Okay, you've got the 10 of Pentacles, as I said, and you've got the 6 of Cups. These are both cards that have to do with the family, okay, that have to do with, our emotional past. The 10 of Pentacles is like family legacy, okay? So this is, something that you're worried about has to do with family in the past. And then this 6 of Cups is saying this could go all the way back to childhood, okay? So the first half of January, you're making sense of something that could, now this could be something that is based in your emotional past all the way back to childhood, but it could be something new that kind of flares up. But it is definitely has its kind of power in the family legacy. Okay, so there's some way where what you want to do with this is it's telling you not to hyper focus, not to overanalyze, not to overthink something, but you want to look at it in kind of a different way. And I feel like the way you want to look at it is that it was just an experience. So for everybody that has, this North Node, whether you have a North Node in Virgo or North Node in Pisces, this polarity is all about experiencing things, and sometimes things that are, things that are great and amazing, things that are not so great. So what's happening is you need to reframe this in a Pisces way. For some of you, that could mean showing more compassion or understanding. For some of you, that could mean standing back instead of hyper-focusing, seeing the bigger picture of things. Like, okay, I understand why they did that or said that because of, I'm seeing the bigger picture. They're damaged in some way or whatever. So But this is something that definitely, that has to do with your past, also with family, and it could be coming up again. But as I said, so it's like you want to like do things in a more of a Piscean way regarding this situation. And when you do that, what this big test is, if you can kind of approach it through a more Piscean attitude or 12th house, which is realizing, okay, everything I've gone through, they were just experiences, and I will continue to have more experiences. That's what makes life rich. That's how we learn. It's all about experiencing life to its fullest, right? And so it's about kind of reframing these things, but writing out all of those good, Pisces type of attributes will really help you to know in how to kind of navigate this. Okay, so something from that family legacy, from the emotional past, is coming up. And then, as I said, the World card here, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to kind of to grow and to kind of like really take this, not only the first half of January and this month, but also the whole year and the next 18 months to really grow. And this is an opportunity for you to really get ahead and see some growth, and a payoff. And as I always say, when we follow our North Node path, we get help and we get blessings from the universe. Okay, so this is an opportunity to tap into that. That's what this World card is saying. Now, what does the Empress mean over here? Okay, what this means is that this is, when you see the Empress here, sitting in this field of wheat on this like lush seat throne with, a beautiful forest in the background. Okay, this is someone who is not overthinking things. She is sitting in her power, but she's enjoying the experience of her life. So it's not only just sitting in your power for power's sake, but she's enjoying everything that life has to offer. And she understands that there are, there are good experiences and there's not so good experiences, but she's taking it all in because it's all about having the richness of life. And that's what this is saying. Our life becomes more rich through our experiences. And, she's able to sit there because she understands that. And so this is taking that beautiful, powerful energy of, having grace through all the seasons of our life and taking it to that next level. And she's also ready the Empress is ready to give blessings out. And then she's also ready to receive those blessings. And so I think that that's what the big opportunity for you North Nodes in Pisces right now is, to really make the next 18 months a period of learning from rich experiences and also receiving blessings by working on your path. So for the next 18 months, your homework assignment is to look at the positive attributes and aspects of Pisces and write those all out, and look at the more negative aspects of Virgo and write those out. And as you're navigating your year and through the next 18 months, make sure that you are going through it with those positive aspects of Pisces and not sinking back into, old patterns of the Virgo South Node, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We will see you on some more readings. Happy New Year. Many blessings.